This is going to be my latest instructional video over advanced tuning methods for bow forgiveness. So this will be a follow-up on the two videos that I had prior, bow setup and then also bow tuning. So with this, I'm going to give you 5 different categories. They're all going to be advanced topics and way for you to get a little bit more forgiveness out of your bow to help you tighten up your groups. I'm going to go over my 2-stage torque tuning. I'm going to go over loop height for leverage over the bow and hold to be able to get your centered point of impact down pat for you. I'm also going to go over bear shafts, how to tune yourself with them, and also how to do some knock indexing to be able to help you get consistent flight throughout all your arrows. And then I'm going to be able to go over just some blade angles, some forgiveness to be able to match that along with your arrow whenever it's going through the bow. Alright, so the first thing that we want to go over is our loop height. And I talked about this a little bit in my setup video, but I want to go more in depth on this. Really what we're doing here is we're looking for the leverage point on our bow to keep it centered on target as we're working through our shot. So for me, I have a dynamic shot, but I also want to have a direction for my energy. So what that means as far as the way the loop is going to go, and what that's going to do is force me to hold my bow arm up. And that takes a lot of the dipping out of your shot. So you'll see a lot of the movement going low. You'll see that come out because you're activating the muscles to actually physically hold the bow up. Alright, so in my 2-stage torque tuning process, the first step that I do is going to be with my sight. And what that's going to do is, with cable guards, roller guards, things that are fixed, everything on here, even the ones that you can adjust in or that flex in, there's always a little bit of riser twist and a little bit of torque applied to the bow because of the way that just everything is made. Everything is pulling off of one side of the bow and it kind of shifts and twists. What we want to do is be able to adjust our bow settings to where we take out the left and rights. And the way I do that on my first process is with the larger impact of it. We're mainly looking at what the left and right spread looks like on target. I'm going to shoot 2 shots. I'm going to torque the riser. I'm going to torque everything to the left. I'm going to center the peep and the scope back up after I do this. And you can see everything just kind of spreads back out again. It's not finding that middle zone in there with, you know, combination of riser twists and where that sight's hitting to keep everything in the middle. Alright, so the second step in what we're going to do is going to involve our arrow rest. So what it's doing is it's aligning the torque that you're putting on the riser, so moving that left and right. What you're doing is aligning that to where it's not affecting the arrow as badly. You know, with my indoor arrows or with arrow shafts that are longer than what I would normally use, compared to what my normal setting is, shorter arrows, I think that's just the balance point with that arrow and where it's flexing, and as it's going across, it's helping it stay on the right path as far as where it's flexing in and out. So basic guidelines on here is do the same as before with your sight. Shoot 1 shot and make sure it's a good one, you know, that's going to hit in the middle, and then shoot a second shot and torque the riser. If the arrow lands the direction that you torqued it, bows like that, just basically it depends on the riser design, geometry of the bow, length of your arrows, everything like that. Come out and I want it to look like this. So as you can see, the 2 stages of torque tuning, it really helps bring your horizontal spread and just really bring it in together. And then I found at longer ranges, I still get very good and very tight groups. Next thing we're going to talk about is your blade angle. Alright, so the next thing we're going to do is look at our blade angle. And that helps me fine tune the oscillation of the blade with the oscillation of the angle, or of the arrow rather. So every time you shoot your arrow, they flex, and then they flex up and down as they're going across the blade a little bit, as far as knock travel will move the arrow and just how they're going across. So what we want to do is you can really fine tune that, and you can make your up and down, your vertical grouping a lot better. Alright, so on this first set, this is going to be with my blade angle, what I've found through testing to be the most forgiving. And again, these are all going to be shot at 30 yards just so you can, keep a consistent idea what the group pattern looks like. And all we're looking for on this type of testing is what our vertical spreads look like. What that's going to do is make the arrow rest react a little bit stronger. Alright, so on this last set, so the reaction you see on this, it's going to be different on every bow depending on the knock travel on it. You can see everything's a little bit higher, and the reason that is because... Alright, so we're now on to the last segment, and that's going to be using bear shafts to make both our bow and ourselves shoot better. So the first part that I'm going to talk about here is actually going to be going over nock indexing. And I use a bare shaft when I do this, and basically it's aligning the flex of the arrow coming out of the bow to be the same on all the arrows that you use in order to get the same reaction out of that arrow. A lot of times we'll have, a group of arrows that we shoot, and 5 out of the 6 are perfect, and then that one arrow is just off. And if you mark your arrows, or if you number them and you know which one it is, a lot of the times you'll find that that one arrow that's off is off every time. So that's where it comes to finding the stiff part of your arrow and then also indexing them. There's 2 different ways to do this. There's an easy way and a hard way. The preferred method, and what I like to do, is a silver dot that is on the arrow shaft there. That's the stiff part of the spine. So what I'll do is I'll take a nock. So doing it up close and doing it in a piece of paper like this behind me, that's going to be able to take a lot of the variances and minimize them, because what we're looking for, it's all going to flex out of the bow the exact same way, and it's also going to show us if we have a problem arrow that we just can't get to tune. On my Pro Comp Elite that I had, it had a really bad right tear, but if I had, then it worked the best there. I got the best tear, I got the best reaction out of it, the most consistency. Alright, so now we got everything done with tuning, we got everything done with our nock indexing, we have the arrows hitting in the same spot and having them all being forgiving. Now is the time where we're going to be able to work on ourselves. So what I'll do is I'll take one bare shaft that I usually keep in my quiver, or I'll take a couple depending on what's going on, and I'm going to shoot them at a target. 20 yards, 30 yards, you don't have to get crazy on distance here. Basically what you're wanting to do is you're wanting to, and what I find is a lot of the times at the end of a shooting session, that's when I get the most benefit of this, because I'm tired, my form is starting to break down, and that's when things will start to pop out. A lot of the times I'll see with archers that I work with, and even myself, and that's a big thing that I use, especially at the end of my shot, for the day, practice session, whatever it may be. That's something that I'll do. Boils down to what you can do to find the most consistent setup for your bow and what group's the best on target. But always test and always find out.
Hey everybody, this is Robert with RC Archery. So I appreciate you watching this preview to my instructional video for my advanced tuning methods. If you're interested and you would like to purchase this video or any of my other ones that I have, you can actually go over to my website. It's rcarchery.com, and you can look under the products tab and you can find all the videos that I have, whether it's for sale through DVD or through sale on my Vimeo account. Thank you again. Hope you have a great day.